Today I am here at the 2020 NAMM show reviewing the P515 from Yamaha. Yamaha has actually been able to bring me to the NAMM show, which is absolutely fantastic, and so today I'm here reviewing the P515. Many of you guys have asked me to review this instrument, and so today I am here doing so. I've done a video already on the P125, which is the step below this, at least as far as I know. It's a relatively entry-level stage type piano. This one here is the P515, and it is the step above. There are a number of features about the P515 that make it a lot better, in my opinion, than the 125. The 125 is excellent for what it is, for what it costs, and it definitely does have a place. It's excellent for a first-time student or somebody who's just getting their child into learning the piano, and will definitely hold them over for a year or two. But once you outgrow the P125, this would definitely be a good option, and I think based on the limited amount I've been able to play on it so far today, I think it would definitely be a really good instrument that will carry you on to the next 3 or 4 years of your piano playing ability until you finally decide to get an acoustic piano or perhaps a higher end digital. The action on this instrument is substantial. It reminds me very much of the action that you'd find in the CP88. It uses the NWX, Natural Wood X action, so it actually has, if you look at it, it actually has wooden-sided keys. So the keys are made of wood, which is definitely going to give you a little bit more of a responsive, realistic feel. I find it to be a little bit heavy, a little bit stiff. That could be because this instrument is, in fact, brand new. This is a brand new one they brought to the NAMM show. Some of this stiffness could, in fact, be coming from the fact that it's brand new. But let me give you a bit of a demonstration of it. Even though it is a little bit heavy, it still gives excellent response, and it's very good for practicing on. So speaking of practicing, let me play Prelude and Fugue from the Well-Tempered Clavier by Bach, the first Prelude and Fugue, and let me give a little bit of a practice routine for myself. Let me brush up on the Fugue, and I will do that on the P515. The action of this instrument, like I said earlier, really reminds me of the CB88. It's got that heavy kind of feel to it that's a little bit stiff, but also it still has good response, and it does everything I needed to do. Now let's explore a few of the other different sounds that the P515 has. First of all, there are a different of piano variants. You have a Bösendorfer, which has a bit of a different sound compared to the CFX. The Bösendorfer is a little bit more distant sounding, a little bit less in your face than the CFX. Very nice crystal and treble, a very nice sound there. You've also got Studio Grand, and Bright Grand, Ballad Grand, Warm Grand, Pop, and Jazz Grand, and Rock Grand, and Honky Tonk Piano Forte. Let's see, yeah. So, those are the different piano variants. Then you've also got electric piano variants as well, so, of course. You've got a number of different variants here of the, you've got DX stuff here. So like from the Yamaha DX7, Phaser EP, and there's also Tremolo Vintage, which I would have to assume is a Wurlitzer. Yes, indeed it is. You've also got some organ sounds. Unfortunately, there are no drawbar controls on here, but again, this is a relatively inexpensive keyboard. And you've got some more rock organ, jazz organ. And organ principal, so this would be more like some, you know. Strangely enough, when you hold the pedal down, the organ sounds decay, which I think would be better if they did not decay. But they are actually pretty decent sounding organ samples. We've also got some harpsichord stuff, so the Fugue again, I guess. But you got harpsichord sounds and fun things like that. A couple of other variants. You've got an electric clavichord, so can't play too much of that or I will get a copyright strike. Also vibraphone. Which is very pleasant to listen to. We've got some strings pads and a few variants of those, as well as some pads and choirs and some others. So acoustic bass, electric bass, bass and cymbal, fretless bass, nylon guitar, and steel guitar. So a lot of cool sounds here on the P515. Probably my favorite one though is the Bösendorfer piano sample. It really sounds lush and lovely. even with these nice headphones on, it still is kind of hard to hear what's going on because there is a massive amount of background noise going on. But also another cool feature about this is it has Bluetooth capabilities, which is why there is an iPad here, and it comes with an app that can do, I'm sure, a lot of different things. Probably you can play different songs, and it had sheet music up here, so you can probably, yeah, it says learn songs, you can play it. Oh, it's playing. Let's not do that. But there's an app here as well for iPad and others as well. So you got music reading training, playing scales courses, and how to be better at the piano. So obviously the P515 is intended to be more for a beginning or intermediate musician, and I really think that it definitely is good at that. The action here has got that nice substantial feel to it that really, you know, it's heavy. It is a bit of a heavy feeling action, but the idea behind that is to get your fingers used to playing on a heavier action. Then when you go to a piano or a keyboard that has a lighter action, it's no big deal. I don't have any problems at all playing really anything whatsoever on it. It has a very good feel. It's not as authentic as a real piano, of course, but it does have a pretty nice feel, and I do enjoy playing on it. No problem at all playing that whatsoever on this instrument. So I really like the P515. I liked the P125 for what it was, but I think the P515 is even more of a solid instrument than the 125. The 125 was good for a beginning pianist, but I think many people might quickly outgrow it if they stuck with the piano. The P515, especially if you got it as your first instrument, would probably last you 3 or 4 years. I'm not talking about the build quality. I mean, as a musician, it would last you 4 or 5 years. Build quality-wise, it would probably last 20 or 30. It seems to be pretty well made. This feels like metal on top. This, I think, is possibly plastic, but it seems to have a pretty good feel. Also, the internal speakers in here are a lot bigger than on the P125, so that is a bonus as well. It's got a USB port here for USB recording and lots of outputs and stuff in the back, too. There's also a record functionality here. There's built-in metronome with rhythms and tempo, and lots of really great things it can do. The P125 had a number of different things that were hidden in the keys. You'd have to like press a button on the thing and then hit a key and it would do a certain thing. I don't know if there's lots of those type of features hidden in the P515, but I do know that some of those were recording and metronome functions and stuff like that. So some of those were actually hidden in the P125. This one has a actual function button, so transposing is actually right here in the menu. On the P125, you had to press and hold the metronome and tempo buttons and then hit different notes up and down around middle C, which it's nice that they kept the buttons off of the menu, but also I find that a little bit more complicated than simply coming in here and now we can play 4 half steps up. It's right here in the menu, and it's extremely, extremely intuitive. Back to normal. So extremely, extremely intuitive to be able to come in here and change reverb, change chorus, voice effect, pedal assign, left and right, repeat, volume, transpose, files, and edit. It's just really, really intuitive and extremely easy to use. So I really like the menu in here as well. It seems very, very intuitive. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review here of the P515. It's a feature-packed mid-level keyboard. That's how I describe it. It's like a mid-tier keyboard, and for the money you pay for it, I really think you get a really solid instrument. I like the action, I like the sounds of it, I like the way it works, I genuinely enjoy it, and I think these speakers would be a bit of an upgrade over the P125 as well. The P125 had decent speakers, these ones will be much better. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review of the P515. If you did, make sure to go ahead and check out the rest of my channel. I've got lots of cool videos of pianos, keyboards, organs, digital pianos, and all kinds of other stuff too. So if any of that sounds cool, you might want to go check out my channel. If you do that, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.